So hello everyone, I welcome all the parents and students to today's live session at Ellen Overseas. I'm Surbhi Kathuria, Chemistry Faculty at Ellen Overseas. So students, you all have appeared for NEET UG 2022 examination and I wish you all are hoping to attain good results out of it. So to our surprise, this year the paper was different for the GCC students than for those who all have appeared for this examination in India. Now, what about today's session? So in our today's session, we'll be doing a detailed analysis, or rather I say a micro analysis of NEET UG 2022 examination code W1, where we'll be doing a detailed analysis subject wise. So what all we'll be covering in our today's session? So today we'll be covering that what was the weightage of class 11th and 12th in your paper subject wise. Apart from that, we'll be dealing with the difficulty level which was there subject wise in your paper. What was the categorization of questions that you have to dealt with. Apart from that, we'll learn the importance of NCERT and your LN module. So joined by me today we have Rahul Bhardwaj sir who will be guiding you in the physics section. We have Shashi Kumar sir who will be taking the botany section. Followed by that we'll be having Nitin Kumar sir who will be guiding you in the zoology section and I will be discussing with you in the chemistry section. So now let's start our today's session and first I would like to invite Rahul Bhardwaj sir who will be guiding you in the physics part. Please sir.
Hello dear students and parents, I am Rahul Bhardwaj, Faculty Physics at Allen Overseas, and today I am going to discuss with you people the microanalysis of the physics section. So here I am going to start my analysis first with the distribution of questions from 11th as well as 12th section. So here as you can see here, NTA this year has given most of the questions. Rather I can say 50% of the question were there from 12th section and from the 11th portion close to 42% of questions were there. So with reference to previous year paper also, I can say last year also NTA has given more importance to 12th class syllabus as compared to that of 11th class syllabus. So this year also we had the same trend. Majority of the question, or I can say most of the question, more than 50% of the question were there from 12th class syllabus and comparatively less significant number, that is 42%, were there from the 11th class section. Now next, if I further do the analysis of the question based on the difficulty level, so based from the student feedback and from our analysis, we observe that total 50 questions, out of that 20 questions were easy category, medium questions were 25 and only 5 questions were from the tough category. So overall I can say the paper was a mixture of easy to medium question. Further, if I do the analysis based on the nature of the questions that have been there, so what we observe based on assertion, reason and statement based questions, so out of 50 there were total 2 questions. Further, if I do the analysis based on the match the calling type of questions, so there we had just only 1 question. Based on the database, fact based question that were there, so I think there was only 1 question that was being directly based on the fact. And most of the question, majority of the question were numerical based in physics, so close to 39 questions were coming into that category. And number of direct question, theoretical question was only 7. So overall I can say the paper of physics was more numerical based as usual. Next, the total number of questions that are there from NCERT part, so that is 10. And if I talk from with reference to our Allen module, so I can say majority of the questions out of 50, 40 questions were directly from module. Number of questions from 11th class syllabus, as I already told you, 11th is comparatively less asked as compared to that of 12th. So from 11th syllabus 21 questions were there out of 50 and from the 12th syllabus total 29 questions were there. Okay. Now next I am going to discuss further the micro analysis of the entire 50 questions from which chapter the questions are being asked. So starting from unit dimension and error, this is the first chapter of our 11th class physics, from which this year NTA has asked 3 questions. After that, from mechanics we have total 11 questions. After that, heat and thermo. In the previous year also it was a significant portion was there. So this year also we had 3 questions from that, followed by oscillation and waves, 2 questions, and majority of the question that were there this year, it was from electrodynamics, that is our electrostatics, current, electricity, capacitor, magnetic effect of current, EMI, AC. From there we had majority chunk, that is 16 questions. Now after that we had 4 questions from optics section, that is ray optics as well as wave optics, and from modern physics part we had 9 questions. So this is the overall analysis. We can say that paper was well distributed, each and every concept was given sufficient importance, and based on the importance they have asked the total syllabus. So distribution of question was really very good. Now next thing that we are going to say, that out of total 50 questions that are there in the physics part, as we know that it has been divided into 2 sections. So first is section A, in which we had total 35 questions, in which all the questions we have to attempt. Further, if we do the analysis of those 35 questions, what we observe in that section, if we again divide it on the basis from which category does it fall, does it come in the 11th or 12th. So out of 35 questions we observe 15 questions were there from 11th class part and 20 questions were there from 12th class part. So based on percentage part also we can say in section A again 12th class syllabus was more dominant. Now coming to the section B, in which we had total 15 questions, in which we have to attempt just 10 questions. So 5 questions are optional here, and if we do again the analysis of those questions, what we observe that from the 11th class syllabus we had total 6 questions, and from 12th class we had 9 questions. So in section B also 12th class syllabus is again dominant. So here also what we observe that NTA, as compared to that previous year paper, this year they also followed the trend that they are giving more importance to 12th class syllabus. Now next I am going to do the micro analysis with reference to question number that have been there. As you all know that 1 to 50 question number comes under the physics part. So here I have given you the detailed analysis that let's suppose, let me do the analysis of, let's say, 4th question. So 4th question of our paper code W1, it was from 12th class syllabus. It was coming from the chapter. I have written here the short form. As you can see that chapter names are little bit long, so I have written here in the abbreviated form. So here it is electromagnetic wave, and that question that has been there, it was the part of, as per the Allen module, it is there in the Allen module for 12th class, that is module number 3. And as it was there on page number 110, and that question is question number 1. So you can see here most of the questions that we observe in our NEET paper this year, they were directly from more or less from the module part only. So here I have given the detailed analysis, although I cannot discuss all the questions here, but I am going to tell you that from where most of the questions that have been there, more or less they were there from Allen module itself. So here let's just try to see question number 9. So in question number 9, again it is from 12th class syllabus. It is from the chapter CE refers to current, electricity, and it was there in module number 1, page number 116. Similar question was there on page number 49, and that question, as per the analysis, was found to be easy, and the option, the nature of the question was single correct one, right? So on that way we have classified the entire section or entire questions that have been there in the physics part. Let's move further into this discussion. Let's suppose next question that has been there, let us say question number 17. Question number 17 of paper code W1 was again from 12th class. It was there from current, electricity section, and module number 1 that has been there of us, and page number 74, the concept that has been there, it is given in the form of a bullet point. BP refers to here a bullet point, and that bullet point is 2.3. Again the category of the question was easy, and the nature of the question was single correct. So that way we have done the analysis of the entire 50 questions. Let's move further. Let's suppose discuss question number 21. 21 again it is from 12th class syllabus. The name of the chapter MEC refers to magnetic effect of current, and same question, similar question was there in our module 2 on page number 17, and it was conceptual based question. CON, it is abbreviated form of concept, and again the category of the the difficulty level was easy, and the nature of the question was single correct. So that way we have done the detailed analysis of entire 50 questions, and over our analysis what we observed that most of the question directly or indirectly they were there from our module itself. So those who were there with us in the last in the previous, the students who are there with us during the preparation time, so they must have seen, I'm going to show you in the further analysis that how the questions were exactly or more or less they were same type as there in the module, and same way they were asked in the NEET paper also. So that also I'm going to discuss, but I think after this detailed analysis, micro analysis that we are doing here, you people will come to realize that more or less the questions were there indirectly or directly from the module part only. Now let's move further into this part. Let's say question number 41. Question number 41, it is from 11th class syllabus. The name of the chapter was kinematics. It was there in module number 1, page number 108. We have discussed the concept of the same. Again, question was medium type and it is single correct. So that on that basis we can say that this year paper was well distributed among different concepts or different parts of the syllabus. Now again here, let's say question number 48. Question number 48, it belongs to 11th section. The name of the chapter was gravitation. Here it was part of our module 2. On page number 185, the same thing has been discussed in the form of concept. Again, it was a medium category question and it was single correct nature. Now after that I would like to give you few examples through which I am going to compare that what questions were asked in the NEET paper and similar question was there in our physics module 2. So let's suppose we are discussing question number 6 of our paper code W1, in which they were saying that is a equation of wave optics in which there is a light which has been polarized and they are comparing the intensities. Initially it was this much, finally it was this much, and they are asking us to do the angle part. So similar question was there also in our module, where you can see on page number 109 in our module we have the similar type of question. More or less in both the questions, if a student has solved this question, I can say very well he can solve this question also, because the concept involved in these two questions are almost similar. Now moving further, if suppose another question that has been there, it is of ray optics. Ray optics, question number 8 that has been there of paper code W1. Here similar question has been discussed in the form of concept that you can see here on page number 30. So if a student has gone through this concept, just by the application of this formula, he or she can easily solve this question too. Now moving further, again this is a concept based question that is there as question number 10 of the NEET paper, and same thing is been there in our module on page 139 that is been discussed in the form of a concept. A very important a conceptual part has been discussed, right, in which we are discussing the variation of viscosity of liquid with reference to that of temperature. So same thing is also been discussed in our module as it is under the theory point. Moving further, this question was there, question number 13, which is a match the following type of question. Same thing, in this question we have to just identify the forces, and same diagram is been discussed in our module 1 on page 212 in this form. So I think whoever has gone through the modules of Allen, I think he or she can really perform very well in this paper. Next, let's say the variation of current with reference to that of potential, we have to just identify the graph. So here same thing was also discussed in this form. Here V versus I, a linear graph is there on page 74 of our module. So you can see most of the questions that I am discussing here, as I have already discussed in the chart also, they were coming directly or indirectly from the part that we have already discussed during the class sessions, live classes. Next part, again it is a database question what we have learned. The question was there, this is the 18th number question of our NEET section, and here same question you can see here that has been there, almost same, since it is a database question they can ask you something different, but more or less the approach is not going to change, and same thing is there on page number 77 also of our module. Next part, if you say this is question number 27 of our NEET section, same thing we can say it is there in the module where we have to just identify this equation that is well there on page 131. So you can see here most of the question again they are being directly being asked from our section. Next, let's say this one, last question, question number 43 here. Here this is, they have been asking about the work done. Same concept is being discussed on page 145 too. So this way we can say more or less the nature of the paper was easy to moderate type, right? If I am talking of my section physics part, and the nature of the this part we can say if someone has done discussed the theory part well, so I think he or she can easily deal with all the questions. So that's all from my side from physics analysis section. I'm going to carry forward the session and ask Subhi ma'am to please continue the session.
All right, so students, now let's discuss the microanalysis of chemistry. So I thank you Rahul Bhardwaj sir for the microanalysis of physics that he has done with you. Now let's talk about chemistry, students. So when I talk about the microanalysis of chemistry, if I talk about, then let's first talk about that class wise what was the distribution in your chemistry section. So if I talk about class wise, so you can clearly see here that the weightage for class 12th was 56% and the weightage for class 11th was 44%. So you can clearly see that the weightage for class 12th was slightly higher as compared to class 11 students. So if you have recently given your board examination and after that you have given your NEET examination, definitely it will help you out. So questions which were asked from class 12th, they were around 28, and questions which were asked from class 11th, they were 22. Now moving ahead. Now what we'll be discussing next in chemistry is the section wise distribution that amongst physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry and organic chemistry, how was the distribution in the paper. So you can clearly see, students, that in physical chemistry the weightage was 34%. If I talk about inorganic chemistry, the weightage was 32%, and if I talk about organic chemistry, it was 34%. That means 17 questions from physical chemistry, around 16 questions from inorganic, and again 17 questions from organic chemistry. So you can see that roughly the weightage is almost same for all the three sections, which is around 33% or 33.33%. And even if I talk about an inorganic chemistry, students, so in inorganic chemistry, out of the 16 questions which were asked, roughly 8 questions was from block chapters. So 8 questions were from block chapters. So you can understand the relevance, you can understand the importance of S block chapter, P block chapter, D and F block in your chemistry part. And the weightage was there in 2021 NEET examination paper as well. So you can understand the weightage of the block chapters in the inorganic section of chemistry. Now moving ahead, let's talk about that if I talk about that out of 50 questions which are there in your NEET examination in chemistry, if I talk about section A and if I talk about section B respectively, then in section A you will see that a total of 35 questions are there, which are all compulsory questions that you need to do. And amongst that, questions from class 11th were 17, questions from class 12th were 18. Now that is roughly around same. When I talk about section B, where you know that there are total 15 questions, out of which you need to attempt 10 questions, you can clearly see that the weightage is uneven. From class 12th, the number of questions asked are more, and those are 10 questions. And from class 11th, the questions are 5. So if you are comfortable in class 12th section more, and you have choices as well since, then you can definitely attempt the 12th part questions. So that is the uneven weightage in section B, and you have an advantage as well. Okay, moving ahead, now what's next? So you can clearly see that here it is mentioned that out of all the 50 questions, the questions which were easy were 24, the questions which were moderate or of medium level, they were 23, and the total difficult level questions are 3 which were asked. So you can understand that this particular analysis is again somewhere related to your preparation. So based on your preparation, you can judge a question whether it is easy, whether it is medium, or whether it is tough. So this is something as a generalized analysis that we can make from the paper. Now, moving next, what are the different category of questions which were asked? So the questions were either they were statement based questions, either they were concept based questions, either the questions were match the column, or the questions were of multiple example based, or the questions were related to some single choice, direct database theoretical questions were also asked. So you can clearly see this analysis that there were correct incorrect questions which were asked, which were around 11. Statement based questions were asked again, and that was the trend in 2021 as well. So 3 questions of statement based were asked, there was no assertion reason, and statement based questions were there just like the last year. Now if I talk about the match the columns, now here the weightage of match the column this year is very high. The questions which were asked were 8, and I will say that this was a kind of advantage to you students, because even if you know 2 options, you can easily find out the right answer. And the match the columns trend, if I talk about last year, it was not many. So we'll keep in mind that match the columns were of high weightage this time. Then talking next, we have data based questions. Data based questions were 1. Talking next, numerical based questions means if we have 17 questions in physical chemistry, out of that, if I talk about, then numerical based questions were 9, and the remaining 8 questions in physical chemistry were concept based. So out of a weightage of 17 in physical chemistry, 9 was the total questions which were asked in the numerical format. Talking next, we were asked the concept based questions also, which were 9. We were asked the multiple example based questions, which were 2, and theoretical questions, or you can say the direct questions which were asked from your NCERT or from your module in your paper code W1 were 7. Alright, so that was the distribution of your 50 questions into different categories. Now talking next, what's next? So we'll be discussing that since your NEET paper is NCERT based, therefore NCERT based questions were 50 as you can see, because it's completely NCERT based paper. We cannot say that it's a direct question, but it is actually NCERT based questions which came this year. Then talking next, we have already discussed how many questions were from class 11 and how many questions were there from class 12. Now talking ahead, now students, this particular section, as you all can see, this is a tabular arrangement where we have categorized each and every question. You can clearly see this discussion is for your paper code W1, and the 51 question from 51 to 59 which we are discussing right now in the chemistry part, you can clearly see that the class has been mentioned here, that these questions which are being asked, they are from which particular class. So if I talk about the very first question, which is question 51, let's say, then this is the question which was asked from class 12th. The chapter to which it belongs is polymers. Now this particular column, as you can see, this is a reference for you from the NCERT where the page numbers are mentioned, which gives you an idea that from these particular page numbers your questions are coming from NCERT. You can understand the importance of NCERT. Now talking next, we have this difficulty level which is mentioned here. So this particular question which was asked, it lies in the easy category. The category of question, if I say, was the match the column. So this is how we have categorized each and every question. You can clearly see that there are block questions which are coming, and that's why I was laying emphasis that block element questions are important. So you can see, if I talk about question number 57, now this question was from class 12, we are now taking a question from class 11, that is question 57, which was asked from the S block elements, which is there on page 303 from your latest edition of NCERT. having a level of medium, and that was a concept based question. So you can understand here that we have done this micro analysis for each and every question. Followed by this, let's talk about the rest of the questions from 60 to 67. You can clearly see again, you have been provided with the reference, you have been provided with the difficulty level. You can see that the number of questions from the easy section, from the medium section are more, and the tough questions were just 3, and that is again subjected to your knowledge, your preparation level. Now, in this particular code W1, again you can see that I have categorized these questions based on their difficulty level, their category. You can see questions coming from coordination compounds class 12th. You have been provided with the reference, a medium level questions based on complexes, and that's some multiple example based questions on carbonyl compounds. Alright, moving ahead, similarly we have classified questions from 68 to 73. You can see the weightage of organic chemistry as well. You can see the weightage of class 12th organic chemistry as well. Questions are being asked from aldehyde ketones, questions are asked from haloalkanes, haloarenes, questions are asked from chemistry in everyday life. They all are your class 12th chapters organic chemistry. You can see their references, their level of question, and the category in which they lie. I have already said that there were lots of match the column this year. Alright, coming next, we have been provided questions from 74 to 80 following a similar kind of pattern where I have mentioned the category of questions. You can clearly see all the chapters from which the questions were given to you. Moving ahead from question 81 to 90, you can see questions are coming from electrochemistry as well, and the reference is being provided to you. So keep in mind that electrochemistry is again a chapter which was having a weightage last year also, and this year also electrochemistry was given weightage and questions were asked from this particular chapter. So for all those students who have taken this exam this year and for all those who will be giving this examination in the upcoming years, you need to understand the trend and you need to set your preparation accordingly, right? Alright, coming next. So this is what is the trend actually. Questions are coming from each and every part. It is a kind of balanced paper. You can see questions are coming from class 11, from class 12th. All the chapters are being covered here. Alright, you can clearly see even questions are coming from chapters like states of matter, which lies in the moderate category. Since it's a numerical based question, so the value may differ. That's why we have been not provided with the page number. But the concept is again NCERT based, module based, and whatever you have been taught in your classroom. Alright. Now here also if I talk about any one questions, you can see even questions came from amine chapter. Now amines is again a chapter which is from class 12th, which is lying in your page number 300. This particular question was asked from page number 300 from NCERT. This was a medium level question and it's a reaction based question where it involves a concept, right? So this is how we are actually microanalyzing each and every question of chemistry. Now apart from that, now what we'll be doing is we'll be checking out that how many questions, or rather I say that there were a lot of questions which were based on your module of LN, which is based on NCERT, and we'll see some of the questions here. We'll be checking some of the questions, we'll be analyzing these questions. Now again, I would like to mention this is for your paper code W1. Now this question which is mentioned here is question 53. Which one of the following statements is true about the structure of carbonate? So you have been provided with these options and you will clearly see that the concept of carbonate is resonance. And if you see your Allen module, which is page 176, class 11th, your module 1, you will see this particular concept which is given. That is that carbonate is having all the carbon-oxygen bond lengths same. And that is because of resonance. So it's clearly mentioned here in front of you, and that gives an idea about us. That gives an idea to you people that so much is the importance of your module. Now apart from that, let's discuss some more questions. Let's talk about this question, which is question 66 of your paper code W1, which is a question from your chapter equilibrium. Now you'll see this is a question of solubility product, and at the same time they have mixed in that the concept of common ion effect. And it's clearly mentioned here that So solubility product of barium sulfate is 1.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 9, and you have to talk about the solubility in 0.1 molar solution of barium nitrate. Now you exactly see, or I'll say the values if I talk about, you can clearly see this particular question of your module, that is from beginners box 3, that is from your class 11th module 2, and at page number 150 you can clearly see that here they are just changing the salt, but rest of the things, the concept, in fact all things are same. So here they are talking about the KSP of AgI, and they are asking us that calculate the solubility of this salt, but in 0.1 molar potassium iodide. So 0.1 molar is here also, 0.1 molar was here also, and exactly same concept, and that is common ion effect. So if you have solved this particular beginners box from the module, you will surely do well in this particular question, right? So that is something which you need to keep in mind, that we are again and again emphasizing the importance of Allen module, we are emphasizing on the importance of NCERT. Okay, coming next, we have this particular question which came as question 74 from your code W1, which is based on boiling point of alkanes. Now students, we all know that boiling point depends on molecular mass, and if branching is increasing, then boiling point decreases, right? Now if I check this particular match the column, see match the columns are a lot in this particular paper. Now the concept, if you see from your Allen module, which is of class 11th, that is from the module 4, and even the page number is mentioned, you will see that the concept lies here, which is boiling point is inversely proportional to number of side chains, and this is exactly what I am saying, that as branching increases, the boiling point decreases, right students? Now similar examples, one or two we'll take more. This particular question is from electrochemistry, question 89 from your paper code W1, and if you see this particular question of molar conductivity exactly from your module, you will see that this particular question is again talking about molar conductivity, which is from your exercise 1 of your module from class 12th, which is your module 1, right? So you can see that if you have solved this exercise 01, you can surely do well in this particular question as well. So we have seen questions are coming from beginners box, questions are coming from your exercise, questions are coming from the theory part of module as well. So you have to understand the fact that you need to go thoroughly to from the module so as to ace your preparation. Apart from that, this particular question which I have taken here in this micro analysis, which is our last question today, is being taken from NCERT. You can clearly see this was a statement based question which was asked, and just read this particular statement 1. If we read this particular statement 1, it is mentioned here that aldehyde and ketones having at least one alpha hydrogen undergoes aldol condensation in the presence of dilute alkali as catalyst. Now if we see this particular line from our NCERT, you can see that this is your class 12th NCERT, page number 371 of your aldehyde, ketones and carboxylic acid chapter. If you see this particular line, you will see that aldehydes and ketones having at least one alpha hydrogen undergoes this reaction in presence of dilute alkali as catalyst. So you can clearly understand that they can change one or two words, but the concept is going nowhere, and you can understand the relevance of NCERT and your module with your preparation, right? So that was the analysis of chemistry from my end. Now I would request Shashi Kumar sir to discuss with you the botany section. Thank you so much.
Good evening everyone, good evening parents, good evening dear students. Today I am here, I am Shashi Kumar, I will teach botany at Allen Overseas. I am here to analyze the paper, NEET paper 2022. So here in this paper, I will tell you why NCERT lines are important, why to solve the questions of module are very, very important. I will show some proofs that if you solve the questions of module, you can hit a very good marks or you can hit a very good score in NEET 2022. So let's start with the overall paper of biology, which carries 50% of the NEET weightage. So that is weightage if you talk about. So in this biology, 11th and 12th, we'll compare 11th and 12th. So 11th portion will be of 52% in this year paper, and 48% will be from 12th. So this is very important, 52% 11th, 48% 12th. So as trend continues, even in previous year also 50% from the 11th, 50% from the 12th. So this is very important to keep us that 11th portion is also very, very important. So this is overall biology weightage paper from NEET 2022. So next we will see the paper level, biology paper level, especially here I will talk about botany paper level. So I will talk about 50 questions. Out of 50 questions, 19 were easy, 24 were medium, and 7 were difficult or tough. So if I talk about the level of paper botany, so it goes from moderate to tough. Moderate to tough means it's not so difficult. The paper was lengthy. It was not difficult, it was lengthy. So we can't expect different questions. In previous year, if you see the previous year paper, we didn't get much more assertion and reason type of questions. But here in this year, we got 6 assertion and reason type of paper or questions in paper 2022. So here we will see the different types of questions. So correct and incorrect type of questions were asked. 8 questions of correct and incorrect were there in the paper in 2022, and assertion reason type of questions. 6 were assertion and reason type of questions. So this question or 6 question, look at here, 6 question. If you see the paper, previous year paper, very less were assertion and reason type of questions. But suddenly we got 6 assertion and reason type of questions in the botany itself. Next, match the column type. 3 were match the column type of questions, match the column type of questions. And data based questions were 0. And flowchart based questions were 2. And multiple example based questions were 1. And chart based questions were 0. Chart based, data based questions are not asked in the botany paper. And next, direct theory questions, direct from the NCERT line. We have 24 questions which are directly asked from the NCERT line. So that's why every teacher in Allen Universities, they will say that every line of NCERT is very important and solving the exercises are very, very important. So we'll see some questions which are exactly same in the module. They are asked in NEET paper 2022. And number of concept based questions were 5, and diagram based question was 1. Only 1 diagram based question is asked. So this is the analysis of total paper. And if we analyze the paper from question 100 to 150, so 50 questions of botany if we analyze, question 101, okay, so questions from NCERT, if you already know that, from 11th NCERT, 28 questions are asked, from 12th, 22 questions were asked. Totally 50 questions are from NCERT part. And if you see question paper code W1 from question number 101 to 150, if I take example of question number 101, so the question, if you remember, the question was, so can you identify the haploid part of the followings? The options were protonym of mosses, the option was primary endosperm nucleus of dicot, and option was spore mother cell. Can you answer the right one in the chat box? The answer is protonym of mosses. We have discussed this in a live classes. And this question is from class 11. It is given in a paragraph of mosses, Bryophyta paragraph. And this is a question from plant kingdom, and this question is given in the line of NCERT is 36, from where this question is extracted. And this is a direct type of question, it was easy type of question. And it is direct and easy type of questions. So here we have question number of paper code W1. Here we have class, whether it is from 11th class or from 12th class. Here we have chapter name. Here we have NCERT page number from where the question is extracted. And here the level of questions, whether it is easy, medium or tough. So this is easy, medium, tough. It depends on your preparation. So for me it may be difficult, for you it may be easy. So it depends on the student's preparation. Easy, medium, tough. Here we have mentioned easy, medium, tough depends on the preparation of the average student. So next we have question number 108, class, chapter name, NCERT page number, difficulty level and category of the question, whether it is easy, medium, tough. Here we have match the columning type of question, match the column. Question number 111. So this was a question asked from molecular basis of inheritance chapter and principle of inheritance chapter. If you attended the session which we conducted before the NEET exam, strategies and tips to score good marks in NEET. So in that we have discussed that. So important chapters, we have discussed it, molecular basis of inheritance, which is very important chapter. If you remember, 8 questions are asked from that chapter. Principle of inheritance, we have discussed that. 6 questions are from principle of inheritance and variation chapter. Cell biology, 8 questions. Biotechnology, 8 questions. So this is how it's very important to attend all the live sessions conducted by Alan. So next we have question number 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119 and their class, chapter name, NCERT page number, difficulty level and category of question. Difficulty level, look at the difficulty level. Tough, assertion, reason and type of question. This assertion and reason type of questions makes the paper lengthy. So that's why students are facing, it's little bit difficult. The botany paper was little bit difficult, but if you prepared well, it will be easy for you. I hope you scored good marks in your NEET exam, because most of the questions asked in NEET exam, they are already given in Allen module. I'll show some proof for that. So from question number 120 to 125, same, classes, chapter name, NCERT page number, medium of the question and difficulty level of the question, category of the question. And next, same question number 132 to 139, class, chapter name, NCERT page number, difficulty level and category of the question. So totally we have 6 assertion and reason type of questions and only 1 diagram based question. So that is asked from your second chapter, sexual reproduction in flowering plant. So that is a question number, diagram based question 148. It is from sexual reproduction in flowering plant chapter. So it is diagram based question. A, B, C, D. You should identify the labels of A, B, C, D. So this is all the question of botany paper. So you already know we have 2 parts, part A, part B, 35 compulsory, and in part B we have 15, 10 where you should attempt the 10 questions. So we have some questions in paper asked, the questions asked in paper NEET exam 2022, and the same questions are already given in Allen module. So the question is match the list 1 and list 2. We have 2 lists here. So list 1, ETS complex 1, ETS complex 2, ETS complex 3, ETS complex 4. And you should match the common names of that complexes. Here we have cytochrome BC1, cytochrome AA3 and 2 copper centers. We have NADH dehydrogenase, ubiquinone FADH dehydrogenase. You already know that complex 1 is called as NADH dehydrogenase. Complex 2 is called as FADH dehydrogenase, ubiquinone FADH dehydrogenase. If you match them, if you match 2, A3, B4, A3, B4, A3, B4. We don't have any A3, B4. If you match 2, you got the answer. The answer is 3. So this question, the same in a table form, it's already given in Allen module. So this is Allen module page number. In page number 210, we have already given this in a table format. Look at here, complex 1, NADH dehydrogenase. Complex 2, succinate dehydrogenase or FADH dehydrogenase. So this is what, to solve the module, NCERT is very important if you are preparing for NEET 2023. This is for the aspirants of 2023. Next, Question number 110. This question, this is from W1 paper code. Look at the language of question. Even language of question is also same, which is given in module. This is a question from NEET paper 2022. I'll read the question. The living differentiated cells that lost the capacity to divide anymore can regain the capacity of division under certain conditions. Options are maturation, differentiation, de-differentiation, redifferentiation. Even options are same. What is the answer for this question? Sir, it's de-differentiation. When differentiated cell regain the capacity to divide, then it is called de-differentiation. Now I'll show the module question. Look at this question. This is a question from beginner's box. If you solve the beginner's box of Allen module, you got 4 marks. 4 marks will be in your pocket. So I'll read the question. The living differentiated cell which have lost the capacity to divide can regain the capacity of division under certain condition. This phenomenon is called as. Even options are also same. Option I'll read. De-differentiation, differentiation, redifferentiation, maturation. Even options are also same. So that's why it's important to solve exercises. So next, which one of the following is not a criterion of a genetic material? It is not a criterion of genetic material. You have 4 options here. And same question is asked. A molecule that can act as a genetic material fulfill the traits given below except. The same language, question language. So next question, the products of light reaction in photosynthesis. The products of light reaction in photosynthesis. They are ATP, NADPH and O2. The same question already given in module. That is, the products of light reaction of photosynthesis are. The answer is NADPH2, ATP and O2. One more question. So that is, the thickness of ozone in a column of air from ground to the top of atmosphere is measured in terms of. Ozone layer thickness is measured by Dobson unit. Same question. The thickness of ozone layer is measured by Dobson unit. So this is what it's very important to analyze paper. We have analyzed the paper. The paper was medium to difficult. I hope you scored good marks if you solved the NCERT as well as questions or exercises of module. So now I'll request Nitin sir to continue the zoology part. Thank you.
Channels, please be connected to our social.
Hello everyone, I am Nitin Kumar Singh and here I am going to analyze zoology paper. And we have divided this analysis into 3 parts. The first part is the micro analysis, then we will see the detail analysis, and then we will see some of the proofs which will tell you that yes, the question paper was from NCERT and the questions was there in your module as well. So first we will start the first phase, the micro analysis. So if you will analyze the difficulty level of the questions, easy questions were 36. Talking about the medium questions were 12 and only 2 tough questions were there. Only 2 tough questions. Talking about the type of questions, here you will see correct and incorrect based questions were 7. Talking about the second type of question, assertion reason based and statement based questions were only 3. Talking about match the following types of question, there were 3 questions. Then data based questions were 2, numerical based questions were 3. Talking about flowchart based questions, there was no question from flowchart type. Now multiple example based questions were 4. And finally, direct informative questions were 28. So if you will analyze, most of the questions were direct information based. Direct statement was there in NCERT. Same statement is there in your Allen module. So if you will read NCERT and LN module, your 50% job is done in zoology. Now let's talk about the number of questions from NCERT. So 50 questions were there in zoology part from 151 till 200, out of which class 11th weightage was of 24 questions and class 12th was of 26 questions. So near about 50-40% weightage is from 11th and 12th respectively. Now we will see the detailed analysis. Talking about the detailed analysis, first we will talk from question number 151 till 157, and mind this, here we are talking about paper code W1. So first we will talk from question number 151 till 157. Let's talk about the class from which that particular question was asked. So most of the questions was from 11th and some of the questions was from 12th, mixed type. Talking about the chapter name, so chapter name is given here, which will tell you from where that question was extracted. Then we will see the page number, the reference of NCERT page number from which that question was extracted. Talking about the difficult level, if you will observe the difficulty level from question number 151 till 157, you will see that most of the questions were easy and only one question was tough. That question was assertion reason type. Most of the questions were of direct information. Some of the questions were from multiple example based and some of them were the direct one. So here we have analyzed from 151 till 157. Now talking about from Now talking from question number 158 till 164, here you will observe that some of the questions were from class 12th, some of the questions were from class 11th. Here the name of the chapter is mentioned where you will see from where that question was extracted. Here the page number was given from where that question was extracted. Here then again you will see the level of difficulty from question number 158 till 164. The difficulty level was easy. Finally, the category of the questions, all the questions were direct information based. Now let's talk about question number 165 till 174. Some of the questions were from class 12th, some of the questions were from class 11th. And here the name of the chapter is mentioned where you will get the information from where that question was asked. Again, the reference page number of NCERT is mentioned here in this column. Then if we will talk about the difficulty level of the paper, for question number 165 till 174, here you will observe that most of the questions were easy, some of them were medium. And talking about the category of the question, most of the questions again in this part is of direct information based. One of the question was from data based. Now let's talk about from question number 175 till 183. Most of the questions were from 11th as well as from the 12th class. Talking about the chapter name, this is the name of the chapter from where that question was extracted. Talking about the NCERT page number, here you will get the information from where that particular question was extracted. Talking about the difficulty level, again you will find some of the medium questions and some were the easy questions. Talking about the category of the question, here again you will see that some of them were correct, incorrect based, some were numericals and some were direct questions, right? Now let's see from question number 184 till 191. Some of the questions were from class 12th, some of them were from 11th, and here you will see the chapter name from where that question was extracted. The page number of NCERT is also mentioned here. Talking about the difficulty level, most of the questions were easy and some of the questions were of medium level. Talking about the type of question, multiple example based questions were there and direct questions were also there. Also correct and incorrect based questions were also there. Let's talk about from question number 192 till 198. Some of the questions were from class 11th and some of the questions were from class 12th. These are the chapter names from where that question was extracted. Page number of NCERT is also mentioned here, talking about the difficulty level. Some of the questions were of medium level, some of the questions were easy. Again, talking about the category of the questions, some of the questions were assertion reason based, some of the questions were match the column type, and some were correct and incorrect based questions, and one question was direct. Now let's talk about from question number 199 and 200. Both of these questions was from class 12th. Now talking about the chapter names are mentioned from where that particular question was extracted. NCERT page number is also mentioned, talking about the difficulty level. Question number 199 was of medium level and question number 200 was easy. Talking about the category of the question, one question was numerical and another question was correct and incorrect based. So we have done the detailed analysis. After that, the third phase, in which we will talk about certain questions and the page number of NCERT, from where that question was from your module, and similar kind of questions which is there in your module. Let's see certain proofs. So here we will talk about 5 different examples. Let's see the question from your NEET paper. Question number 152. Inadequate supply of oxygen to heart muscles leads to a symptom of acute chest pain. This disorder of circulatory system is identified as, answer was angina pectoris. So let's see the similar kind of question in our Allen module. So if you will focus on this 5th question, pain in heart muscle, angina pectoris. Let's see the theory of the same question from Allen module. Angina, it is also called as angina pectoris, a symptom of acute chest pain. Now let's see the theory which was taught in your classes. Angina pectoris, acute chest pain. This is the first proof. Now let's concentrate on the second question. Question number 155 from your NEET examination. The hormone releasing IUDs among the following are multilode 375, LNG20, progesterate, Lippes loop and Waltz. Here LNG20 and progesterate is the answer, option number 3. Now let's find the same question, similar question from the Allen module. Select the hormone releasing intrauterine devices. Again, here progesterate and LNG20 was the answer. Let's see the theory from the Allen module. Please see here, hormone releasing IUD. Now let's see the same theory from your class notes. Please see, hormone releasing IUD, progesterate and LNG20. Now the third example. Question number 156 of your NEET examination. Which of the following disorder represents decrease in respiratory surface due to damage of alveolar wall? Here the answer was emphysema. Now same question from your Allen module. Question number 14, please concentrate. In heavy smokers, the alveoli of the lung are enlarged and damaged, which reduces the surface of exchange of respiratory gases. This condition is known as emphysema. Now the theory from the Allen module, emphysema is chronic disorder in which alveolar walls are damaged due to respiratory surface decreasement. Now the concept which was taught in the class, emphysema is chronic disorder in which alveolar walls are damaged due to respiratory surface decreased. Right? Now let's see the third example. The term blue revolution is related with, all of you know this concept, very easy. It is fishery industry, option number 3. Now the same question from Allen module. Please see, the effort for development and flourishing of fish industry are, answer will be blue revolution. Now the theory part from your Allen module. Blue revolution is an effort to increase fish yield in India. Now the concept which was taught in the class, please see this one, the screenshot of your class notes. Blue revolution, efforts to increase fish yield in India. Next, question number 184 from your NEET paper. Which of the following hormones are secreted in women only during pregnancy? Relaxin, oxytocin, HCG, HPL and progesterone. Here the third option is the correct answer, A, C, D. Same or similar kind of question from your Allen module. Please see here. Which of the following hormones are produced in women only during pregnancy? Right? Now, let's see the theory part. HCG, HPL, relaxin are produced in women only during pregnancy. Now, let's see the same concept from your class notes. Please see. Placental hormone produced only during pregnancy, HPL, HCG and relaxin. I hope this detailed analysis will help you to evaluate from where you have to get the correct guidance. Now, finally, I will invite Surbhi ma'am to conclude this session.
So parents and students, that was the detailed analysis of all the subjects for your NEET UG 2022 paper, Code W1. I thank all the teachers for this wonderful analysis of this paper. So I hope you understand the importance of this session, especially for all the students who have taken this paper this year and for all the students who will be giving the paper next year. See, what NTA is having in store for us, we cannot predict that. But what we can predict or what's there in our hand is the right strategy for preparation. And that's exactly the motive of our today's session was to make you understand the relevance of NCERT, to make you understand the relevance of Allen modules with your preparation. Apart from that, students, now very soon NTA will be releasing the answer key for this particular paper of NEET UG 2022. Followed by that, they'll be releasing the student OMR. Based on that, student will be given a particular time frame, and after that only the results of the examination will be declared. Apart from that, students, if you want a detailed subject-wise solution of this particular paper of NEET UG 2022 of Code W1, then we'll mention the link of that particular video from our Allen Overseas YouTube channel in the description box. So please stay updated, please keep a track of all our channels, of our YouTube channel, of our social media platforms. So in the last, I will say on behalf of Allen Overseas, I wish all the very best to all the students. May you score good in this particular examination. So in the last, I thank you all for your time, for joining us. Thank you.